G'day YouTubers, netizens, viewers. What we've got here is basic water electrolysis theory and design, how you can make one yourself. It's pretty simple once you get the hang of it. Let's just say you just got a 12-volt battery, that's more than enough. You can actually do it with about 1.5 volts per cell and even a little bit lower. Anyway, this is what they call a Hoffman apparatus. Let's write that there. And we're going to use a modified version of this to, I don't know if it's one or two ends. Anyway, it's a Hoffman apparatus. This is the simplest way to split water, and all you need is water, obviously, electrolyte, and this apparatus. We're going to modify that and use something slightly different. Much cheaper. These are very expensive and they don't put out much gas for the cost and that sort of thing. They're only tiny too. They're more of an experimental thing designed for demonstrating well, electrolysis and gas laws and all sorts of things to college students. But here you notice we get twice the volume of hydrogen compared to 1 volume of oxygen. For every kilogram of hydrogen, you'll end up with 8 kilograms of oxygen. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, H2O. So anyway, it's very simple. You can read about the chemical processes. What is important is what electrolyte you choose. I tend to go for non-toxic, like baking soda. There are other electrolytes that people are experimenting with, different types of meshes and sponge nickels, all that sort of thing. Some of these electrolyzers are reporting very high efficiencies. I think we're up to about 84–85%, which is great news. The less energy we need to produce the hydrogen gas, the better off we are. You can't really go quantifying the costs because you might have an old wind generator. You're getting free electricity from that. It's still not free because you've got to maintain the generator, you've got to look after it. I like to cost these things out on a 5-year cycle. The design of the apparatus will last more than 10 years, but if you cost it out over 5 years, anything you're getting beyond that 5 years is better. And we're looking like we can get the same energy values as petrol, gasoline, whatever you want to call it, for a fraction of the cost. This is really major what's happening in this industry at the moment. My design is something I made up years ago. It could be rehashed and made much more efficient now with what we've learned over the last few years. But mine's basically just a couple of jars. I'll show you them in a minute. They do work. I've made a few bangs with the thing. Got a little spout up the top. Another one here. Spout there. The interesting part is mine does not have a membrane. I use the liquid electrolyte as the charge sorting area, because one charge wants to go this way, another charge wants to go this way. So these sit on some plastic seats, you might as well say. And they've got holes in them. what happens is the charge goes this way, your H2 gas forms here, your O2 gas forms in here, and of course what's forming them is, just put the water level so you know what I'm on about, and then that sits in like a tub. Now this here's got a wire coming out here over the top, and that goes to your negative, and this one here's got a wire coming out here, you'll see that's just a mesh. I'm not sitting here or standing here drawing out a mesh. So it just gives us a larger surface area than a flat anode or cathode. So that's how simple it is. Right. Now you can build these. Some people could build them really cheap. If you send them overseas, you could probably build them for $1, $1 a cell. And the cheaper we can make these, the better, because we need, well, you need lots to make the amount of hydrogen you're going to need. Let's analyse that. 1 kilo of hydrogen, I could run my house for 2 days on 1 kilo of hydrogen, and that's heavy power usage. But this is the design of the electrolyzer. Obviously I've got a little bit more advanced now, but I'm showing you guys so you can make one for yourself and experiment with it. I do recommend putting on a water trap on your hydrogen. I'll show you one of those too. It's just the water trap's just like a jar, and it's got the gas inlet pipe there that goes under the level of the water. And then you've got gas out there. That's H2, of course. Hydrogen, I love it. It's so clean. There's no other way that we can do this. That's a pipe that comes all the way from there to there to there, down to there. So there's your water trap. That just prevents explosions. In this case, the H2 gas is explosive. You would not smoke around a lot of these things. You've got hydrogen gas coming out here, hydrogen gas here. Now, if you're bottling that through, well, there's a couple of methods you can use to bottle your hydrogen. You can compress it, you can electrically treat it, which is what we'll be looking at in the next video. But I'll show you this electrolyzer now so you can have a look at it for yourself. It's so easy. If you don't go and make one of these, I don't know what's wrong with you. You should just experiment for yourself, and you'll see all the hydrogen coming off and the oxygen. Even if you're piping the hydrogen outside and burning it off or whatever, a little bit more oxygen in your house is not going to hurt. Right, so I'll get a look at this electrolyzer now. This is the electrolyzer. This is your hydrogen tank there. That's stainless steel. I'll see if you can get, that's perforated mesh, stainless steel. Great surface area. And that's the insulator I was talking about for charge equalisation. That's the oxygen one. So it's just a coffee jar with a bit of epoxy on the top. It works quite well. There's the oxygen anode there, and obviously a red wire to hook it up to the right polarity. But that's how simple it is. You just need that, and that. Obviously when I use it, I use a much deeper container than that, much bigger. I don't know where it's gone. But anyway, that's how simple it is. But to run your car, you're going to need a lot of these. Maybe 100, maybe 200. But you'd want a decent set of solar cells. I've got a design in mind for an energy cell for a house. And it provides everything. It provides your heating, your hot water, your electricity, provides gas if you want it for a vehicle, external electric car, which is very interesting. With hydrogen, we can convert this directly to electricity through a fuel cell. So rather than have 50,000 NiCad batteries or nickel metal hydride batteries or LiPo batteries or whatever batteries you want to use, we can use fuel cells, which incidentally you can get hundreds of kilowatts out of fuel cells. And the missing link, which is what I've been working on, is the hydrogen tank. Now I've got, I was looking at prices to build these tanks years ago, and they were like, I'm not kidding, $1 million to build a fuel tank for your car. Well, that's out of the question. But since we've developed new storage methods, there's some interesting lithium hydride or graphitic carbon nitride. There's some very interesting work going on there, but we've got a different method of storage and activation to anybody else. We've got something revolutionary. It's solid state hydrogen, discharge at command. It's all digital controlled. It's got a couple of microprocessors on the tank, and we use a special hydrogen sponge that's been specifically developed for this application, and that's the bit that I'm going to patent. So I won't be really showing much of that off. I will show you, I'll give you some demos on it and you'll see it working, and rah-de-rah. I'm not into the making of the fuel cells. There's some very good manufacturers out there who I'd just buy my fuel cells off them. The proton exchange membrane type fuel cells, and that will give us the electricity. So yeah, this just my little project, so I thought I'd share it with you. Some people out there are interested. I'm very interested in this whole hydrogen energy chain because I see it's the future. I know this is going to be big. So I've got my hand in there and designing a few things. I'll be applying for a patent on my tank, and that one tank give you the same range as a petrol vehicle or diesel vehicle. The tanks are scalable, the whole technology is scalable. You could build these tanks down to the size of cigarette lighters, or you could build them the size of jet engines, say. A very high energy density. And we've made it safe by making solid hydrogen. The hydrogen is bound to the fuel cell until we require it. So like many other fuel cells, or no, it's a tank, it's a fuel tank. So like many other hydrogen fuel tanks, you can shoot this with bullets, or you know, you can make sparks around it. It's not going to explode. This is safe hydrogen storage, and this is why I'm excited. It's immune to incendiary devices. Oh yeah, it'll burn, but it'll burn like a candle. Very slow, no explosion, much safer than petrol, much safer than a few thousand lithium batteries sitting under your floor, and energy density over the moon. This is when we fully develop this is more advanced than anything on the market. It's better than nuclear energy, because we're not going to run out of water, we're not going to run out of hydrogen, and this is applicable to if you're on the moon or on Mars or anywhere. You can use the same system as a universal energy supply. Anyway, that's my little design of an electrolyzer, just to muck around with. I thought I'd share it with you people and see where we go from here. Next video it'll probably be on the tank. I'll give you a bit of an update on the tank and see how we go. Alright, thanks for watching.